In the autumn of 9 AD, three of Rome's finest legions marched into the German forest. When they entered, there were 20,000 strong. When it was over, not one survived. This wasn't a battle, it was a slaughter, a humiliation so devastating that Rome never recovered from its shadow. The world would remember it as the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest, the day Rome's unstoppable machine was torn apart by its own pride. By 9 AD, Rome had stretched from the Atlantic to the sands of Syria. Germania was supposed to be the next jewel in the empire's crown, a wild frontier beyond the Rhine River. To pacify it, Emperor Augustus appointed Publius Quintilius Varus, a governor and general loyal to the imperial family. Varus brought with him 3 legions, the 17th, 18th, and 19th, along with cavalry, engineers, and camp followers. He was told Germania was under control, that its tribes were subdued, its chiefs loyal, and its people ready for Roman order. But it was all a lie, crafted by one man who knew Rome better than Rome knew itself.
Arminius was no barbarian brute. He was a Roman-trained officer, a commander of auxiliary troops, fluent in Latin, educated in Roman warfare. To the empire, he was an ally. To his people, he was a son of Germania, playing a long game of vengeance. He saw how Rome bled his homeland with taxes, burned villages, enslaved families, and he realized if Germania was to remain free, Rome's legions had to die. So Arminius played both sides. He rode with Roman scouts, shared wine with Varus, and whispered rumors of rebellion among distant tribes. He promised to guide Varus through the forest to crush the uprising. But in truth, every tree they passed was part of a trap. Early September, the Roman column stretched for miles. Soldiers, wagons, women, children. Rain began to fall. Roads turned to mud. The forest closed in like a living wall, dense, wet, and dark. The legions were forced to break formation, moving single file. Shields caught on branches. Wagons broke on roots. They were marching blind. And then, out of nowhere, the first javelin. It struck a centurion through the neck. Then another, and another. Screams echoed through the trees. The attack had begun.
The Germans struck from all sides, unseen, silent until the last second. They had built ambush walls of logs and mud along the narrow path, funneling the Romans into kill zones. When the front ranks tried to charge, they found themselves pinned between barricades and trees. The Romans fought back desperately. Their short swords, the gladius, were deadly in formation, but here there was no formation. Rain made their bows useless, mud swallowed their feet. The wounded slipped and drowned in the muck. Arminius's warriors, the Cherusci, Bructeri, and Marzi, attacked in waves, then vanished into the mist. The Romans never saw the full enemy, only shadows, noise, and death. Night fell, but the horror didn't stop. The Romans tried to set up camp, but fires were useless in the rain. They had no tents, no food, and no morale. Wounded men cried out through the night, only to be silenced by arrows from the dark. The next morning, Varus ordered the army to march again, hoping to reach open ground. Instead, the Germans struck harder. A full legion collapsed when its flank fell into a ravine. Horses panicked, trampling soldiers in the mud. Standards, the pride of Rome, disappeared into the forest. By the third day, discipline was gone. Varus, realizing there was no escape, fell on his own sword. His officers followed. The Germans closed in and killed the rest.
The 17th, 18th, and 19th legions had ceased to exist. Out of 20,000 men, almost none survived. Bodies hung from trees, severed heads were nailed to pikes. Months later, a Roman recovery force, led by Germanicus, the emperor's nephew, entered the area. What they found was beyond imagination. Bones scattered like gravel, skulls mounted on spears, altars built from Roman remains. The soldiers buried what they could, but some remains were left to rot as a warning. Emperor Augustus, upon hearing the news, tore his clothes and cried out, "Varus, give me back my legions!" Those 3 legion numbers, 17th, 18th, and 19th, were never reformed. Ever. The Teutoburg disaster shattered Rome's illusion of invincibility. It ended any dream of expanding beyond the Rhine. From that moment on, Rome built walls, not roads. The frontier between civilization and wilderness had been drawn in blood. Generals like Germanicus would return years later to burn villages and avenge the fallen. But the forest never truly belonged to Rome again. Its trees became a graveyard of ambition, a place whispered about in fear, even centuries later. Some historians say Teutoburg changed the course of Western history. Because that day, deep in the mist and mud, the empire stopped growing and began defending. The forest still stands today, quiet, endless, unchanged. Beneath its soil rest the bones of 3 lost legions and the pride of an empire that believed it could never fall.